What up? How's it going? Hi, everybody. What's up, Hyena? How you doing? Climbing Madness. Where's that? Is that the alpha map? I'm pretty sure that's the alpha map, right? Let me log in. But what's up, everybody? Welcome into the stream. Today, we're waking up. We're getting ready to learn new things in the Game Maker. Hyena wants us to play Climbing Madness. I don't want to, but thank you for the invitation. Namaste, DJ AJ. Good morning, Northman. Codazine in the house. Thank you. But yes, good morning to you, Hyena. Welcome in, Keeper Top Shot. Codazine, how are you? A very good morning. So, what should we do today? Well, I'm so glad I asked. I enjoy learning new things in Game Maker. So, what's up? But, yeah, we're gonna explore new mechanics. I've gotten the car to work pretty well. The only thing I wish I could fix, and I spent like an hour or two off stream trying to make the car brake, and I did have some success with the parry mechanic. So we'll take a look at it, but we're probably gonna learn some other things today. Defaults. What up? What up? Yeah, we chilling, Codazine. We're trying to learn new things here. Hello, Go West. Go West, is today a woohoo morning?
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Woohoo! We got Mermaid in the house. Hi, Mermaid. And Voxel Thrasher. How you doing, Voxel? Woohoo! So Go West, it does have a my voice. It has like a cooldown. So you just gotta be aware of that one. Hello there. How's it going? So let's take a look here. Here's my avatar called Speed. Speed!
This is fine.
This is fine. So Speed is a small humanoid. Check out this backpack, by the way. That was made by Saged. Yo, DJ AJ, congratulations. Well, DJ AJ, I have to ban you now because you chose yellow. So, what we can do is we can approach this Alhambro. And as soon as you approach, it sends out a message. That message I actually disabled. It's not going to do anything. But you would pick it up from the back. And after a brief delay, you're able to drive it. However, there's no brakes. So if I stop, going in a direction, it just skids. But if you do the parry function, you can kind of Tokyo drift it. Yo, Monogini, what's up? Welcome in. 97 Ace here, what's happening? Yeah, I got the Wizzy hat. It's the Lambro shark.
25. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! That happened this week. That was the Monday Sandbox stream. And Go West was like, I want that to be my meme.
Will you share your syringe with me?
No, I will not share my syringe with you. But yeah. Hey, Nervex, what up? Hey, you guys. So, today, by the end of the stream, I'm going to publish this map so you guys can poke around it and learn a thing or two. If you wanted to. One thing to note is there's no jump function. That's mainly for this Ferrari's sake. Or not Ferrari, it's Lambro. Lambro, bro. Because if you start jumping in the Lambro, it's gonna take off like a spaceship. Can we use a horse as a vehicle? I think so, Voxel Thrasher. That might be a great test. Let's see if we have anything. So we got... I made this horse. He ugly. Let's take a look at him. I think I just made him specifically for testing. So, the only thing you need is a platform.
This is fine.
This is fine. Mountable animals, not sure if they work. I don't think they do at the moment. That is planned. Much like swimming is planned. Much like, flying and changing behaviors is planned. All of these things will eventually come to pass. But for now, we have to have janky ways of making a platform under a Lambro. And so what we're going to try and do is when we grab this horse. Grab your horse, everyone. When you grab it, it's going to rest the player on top of them. So that's going to use an offset in the pickable component. So we'll try 1 and like 0.3. And so ideally that's going to put it up 1 block. So that's the y-axis. And then the z-axis is forward and back. X-axis would have been left and right. So you can see by these arrows here, we have a red is left and right. Z, or Z-axis, that's forward and back. And then up and down, the green is the Y-axis. So what we're going to do is when we grab the horse, it's going to place us on top of it, based on my pickables here. And then we have to connect our platform to the horse. And hopefully the character will be sitting on top of the platform and on top of the horse. Nobody saw that. Let's try -1, -0.5. So I don't think we as the player can go above the ground. I wonder what happens if I put the jump back on. So I had removed jump, but here it is. I thought I had removed it. So like if we go into game, I can't jump right now. Well, Where did I... Here, huh. Minecraft villager noise, huh. It is slightly janky, 987A. Good morning, Sparky Snickle. Sparky, are you an 11 today?
Really, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are an 11.
In 987A, the force is strong. Well, thank you everyone for joining me.
With you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Jedi yet.
You are not a Jedi yet. Sparky Stickle, ironically or just coincidentally? Either way, very funny. So I'm gonna go back to the player avatar. See if it allows me to jump again. Okay, so we can jump again.
What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing
Like we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. So I think I do need this platform here. Right now we're just gonna make the horse work, then we can worry about putting the character somewhere special. But yeah, when we grab the horse, we want it to put us a little bit forward. And right now the platform isn't even working as intended, like what it did with the Lambro. These things are trial and error, friends. Hi, Manijni. What's happening? Thanks for trying it out. Well, Voxel Thrasher, we're gonna be here a while until I make it work. But, yeah, welcome in everybody. If you have questions relative to Game Maker, I'm happy to test things. I actually set up this entire map so that we can test it. And then I'm going to publish it to the drafts gallery. Oh, okay. It's Monijua, right? I can call you nicknames if you want. Monijua. Genius. Well, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. I'm sure you can figure it out. Voxel Thrasher, thank you. I'm sure I can too. It just takes time. But what's supposed to happen, like with this Ferrari here, Lambro, is when you grab it, you're basically on this platform. And the platform itself doesn't move anywhere. Instead, you, the player, are kind of like running in place, and the platform is bugging out. It's basically like, zzz. We can't see it because it's invisible and under the ground. But if we were to jump, that's kind of fun. Except we can fly if we spam jump. Physics! So, when we grab this horse, here's a thought. I can just use this Lambo that I set up and turn it invisible and just put the horse there. It's so smart. My genius scares me sometimes. This is the green Lambro. Well, we can't have the Lambro invisible if it's the parent. My genius scares me sometimes. So instead, we need to make the horse the parent. It's It's unfortunate that the hierarchy is a little bit buggy. Yeah, the horse will be the parent, so we're going to be grabbing the horse still. But the Lambro is going to be doing all the work. I think. Horse, let me grab you. Honestly, I don't even know if we can make this. I think we can. What am I saying? I'm not giving up. See you later, Voxel Thrasher. Please try a horse without the platform. But we can't really ride the horse. That's just a mechanic that's not in the game yet. So what I was trying to do is make it look kind of like how the car was working. But I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over it. Go Speed Racer. So the only thing is like I couldn't position myself on top of the horse. It's hard to say. Yeah, this horse doesn't. This is a flying horse. Something not right about. Nothing is right about this 987A. Still fun though. But in terms of like putting the player on top of it, that's like an entire. Yeah, that would take too long. But we can at least have a horse that is in front of us. Wait, did I delete it on accident? I think I deleted it on accident. Excuse me. How did I do that? I didn't hit delete. 1, -2. How I do that? So like that removes the entire mechanic, is because our placement matters. Like gravity needs to be under us, not above us. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, I'm making it worse. Horse hat. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. I'm just gonna delete it and move on because I'll keep playing with it. I will keep trying to make that work if I look at it. So
Good question.
I'm just gonna remove the things that are play-withable from my screen. Nothing to see here. Deleted. Get out of here. The other thing I would probably do is just remove the testing messages I had on my Lambro. So, now that you're all here, what should we work on today? I've got these, Oh, my cat's here. Tipper! I'm gonna feed my cat real quick. She's gonna say hi, though. Thanks, Monijua. Let's see. So, we're gonna fill out these 3 spaces with things to learn today. I have one that has a door, so we can add like a door mechanic, maybe like a puzzle. If I'm able to jump, that's the only reason why we could use these platforms. I also have a whole underground area that we can explore and, you know, add mechanics to. Halfd0rk. That's me. I'm Halfd0rk. So I'm very distracted right now, so I need to get into the flow with something. You know, get to work. But I hope you're all having a nice Wednesday. Thanks for joining me today. Ooh, I can show this off. This is something I'll be adding to my next game. So let's take a look at it. And I'll try and explain it best I can. It's actually incredibly, you know, difficult to, I guess, put into words. So let's take a look. This entire section is supposed to be like narrative branches. So, as an example, let's say the character is entering into a battlefield. So if they enter in without, you know, doing certain side quests, it's going to start the battle, and it's going to have the default type of resolution. But let's say that the player did some side quests. So the side quests in this scenario are putting boxes in baskets. So by doing that side quest and then entering into the battlefield, it's sending that same asset a different direction. Hey Jayona, what's up? And so, by doing that, and then completing the battlefield, finding the resolution, different things will happen. Because a checkpoint was unlocked. And so, I also have it to where if they did 2 side quests, it would have turned this like spinner here in the middle twice. And by doing so, and then completing the battlefield, it's going to place that checkpoint over here instead. And so each one of these checkpoints represents a different, like, ending, a different resolution. And so let's say you finish the battlefield, that would be this message. Which in turn spawns an egg that removes the spinner in the middle, so no new resolutions could be found. And then the story would continue. So that's the best way to describe that. It's like a visual novel kind of branch system. So we can take a look at this. Zumzy! What up? Good morning. Nani?
Nani?
No, it's not Nani, it's Zumzy. Okay, so the first thing we'll take a look at here is the lever. So whenever the player hits this lever, it's actually a door behavior because it has an animation attached to it. So if you have something with animations, you can turn them into a door. I'm actually going to test this real quick. So let's... What? What's up? So we can use this fungi coin, maybe.
You may be worthy of that. Do not prove me wrong.
Zubzy with the 10. Thank you. Nani? What's up, Dizzy? Okay, so we're just going to take a look at this real quick. It's going to be a coin with the door behavior. And when we interact with it, it'll have 2 animations. 2 different animations play. So for example... when we pick it up, it'll shine. But then when we close it, it'll shine and spin. And it's worth noting that when a door is on, it's going to be pass-throughable. Because that's how doors work. You can walk through it like this. So this door is currently on. But if I were to walk up to it and talk to it, it's going to activate that animation. And it's going to turn on the collision. Because it's closed. The door is now closed. So this is one way to put 2 animations on an object that I hadn't even considered. Still sick, Dizzy. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear it. Keep your top shot. You have a video for me? Do send it via Twitch Whispers if you have something. Caratros, welcome in. Always game dizzy. How could I not? You lie. Well, Dizzy. I do miss you, but not as much as you must think I do. So, with this fungi door, you click it, close. Click it, open. So if you interact with it, it has 2 animations attached to it. So that's something worth considering for other objects. So let's maybe, just because I'm curious now, like the Lambro. Like if we were to put like the door on it. And because of how the door component works, we can duplicate it and have an invisible one with collisions inside of it. But this one, we'll add the door component to it. And because it's fake and we have a solid one inside of it, we can add no collisions. But when we interact with it, we can have it do, well, we don't want it to spin. We could do the drive door open for the open animation. And so then we can have like the doors closed for the other one. Or closing. We'll try closed. See how it looks. So that when we interact with it, it's swapping between 2 different animations. It's kind of nice. It is kind of instant. There's no transition between the animations. But just taking a little detour there for how the door mechanic works. So, back to this box. If you wanted to spawn a box like I have here, I have an invisible asset spawner that when we hit this lever that's using a door behavior, it's sending out a message whenever the door is opened. So WB stands for wooden box dot spawn. And so that's going to this little number pad here down here. Right here. Actually, no, this is our asset spawner. Right here. Something on Discord, something you want to see? Sure, I'll take a look, Zumzy. Caratros, I'm trying to do this 2 animation using door behavior, but I can't make the animation keep looping. That's a good point. So with the door, it's not quite the same, huh? Because it doesn't have the loop function. So we can take a look at, oh, let's try a humanoid now. So we'll use Andy Ritchie here. I'll put Andy over here. So Andy will have the door component. And so now we can take a look at looping animations, which I agree, I don't think we'll be able to loop them. So we'll have, again, an invisible one inside of them that has collisions. But then this one, we'll just go ahead and turn off collisions, because the door will, toggle it regardless. And so he can congratulate you, and then he'll swap between dancing. So let's see what happens when we talk to him. Yep, so he stops on the last frame there. Same with that dance. So in theory, you could have when the player is in this space, like it could detect the player, or you could have a message broadcast. This is an idea. See, these are the type of things I hope we can explore on the stream, because this is very fun for me. Maybe not for you. For you, it's probably painful because you're backseat driving. And I'm going on these random detours, driving you off a cliff. So what we'll do is we'll add a message broadcaster that is sending out a Andy.1. Sure. And so now we can go to our door behavior and we can add Andy.1. And so it's just sending it to everyone. We can have it specific actors. This will just make things easy. Wonder why I have 2 Andys here. I guess it's doing it by assets within. Maybe it was the other one. We'll just do tags instead. So the tag will be Andy, and we'll add that tag to Andy. And then also add it to the door. It looks like it didn't get into the door. Andy1. So that's probably why it didn't work. So if we walk over to Andy, it's still not looping. It's actually instead swapping between them on an interval. And it looks like it's like every 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Well, Game Dizzy. I'm glad you're here. Missed you too. Hope you start feeling better soon. But take as much rest as you need. So our message broadcaster appears to have a somewhat of a delay to it. So it is in fact, you know, sending out the message. Andy is getting it. However, the duration in between these messages isn't consistent. So if we wanted to swap between 2 different animations, they would need to be about 3 seconds long each. So let's try like taunt 1 and 4. It's not saving it. I think I'm finding bugs like every so often. Because this is... I don't know why it's not saving it. So if I click out on them and then click back in, it seems to have it. Try saving it again. So this is nice though. Like you can, using the door behavior, you can add 2 animations to an asset. Just keep in mind that the animations themselves should roughly be about 3 seconds or more. So that way it kind of has a good loop. So that was fun. Let's see, assets in this section use the door behavior to cycle between 2 different animations. Place a collidable object within them. If you use this mechanic in your games. Yeah, Game Dizzy. We're exploring new mechanics here, so... But the one thing that's definitely worth noting is you need to have an invisible one that has collisions, because the door just won't allow you to have a collidable object, because when the door opens, it basically removes the collision. And then lastly, I wanted to click this number pad, place it underneath them, and remove collisions, as well as make it invisible. Alright, what else? Our asset spawner box here, which I think I've started describing what it does like 3 times now. Let's review it once more. This asset is spawning versions of itself, which it is currently invisible in the game, but it spawns versions of itself that have a tag. So it's spawning wooden box, -1 next to it. So on the x-axis, this red arrow here is the x-axis. Spawns it basically where this blue perimeter is. When it spawns, we have these settings. There's no behaviors, but it has the tag WB. WB for me stands for wooden box. You can tag it whatever you like, but just make sure all your tags are consistent. Then it has the pickable component, so we can pick it up, and it has gravity. So that way, if we drop it, it's going to fall all the way to the ground. Lastly, it's spawning based on this message, wb.spawn, which we set up to be with this lever here. So this lever, when we turn it on, it's playing an animation, and it's sending out the message on open, wb.spawn. And so it's interacting with us. Also, when this message is received, lever.reset, which I set to this here, this little number pad, so that when the player walks up, approaches, and we'll place it exactly on... Look, zombie, will you share your syringe with me? Yes, we will. See you, Dizzy. But when we touch the lever, it turns the lever off. But then when the player enters into this little blue circle, it's going to also turn the lever off or on. So let's see that in real time. So if we approach, it's going to spawn a box. And if we walk away, give it a moment, then approach again, we can see the lever resets. So it's basically like another way to touch the lever in case you don't use the lever. And then now we'll take a look at these. So when you put the box inside of this basket, it's spinning. And that's also used the door behavior. It's spinning this dial in the middle. So as we noticed, when we have an event, let's say entering a battlefield, it's going to send out this message that when received by this dial will activate a certain checkpoint. So this is a one-time message right here. So depending on what side quest the player did, so for example, my example was spawning a box and then placing it inside 2 different baskets. So that was the quote-unquote side quest. So if you did that, and then you started the event, the battlefield, it would have activated a different checkpoint. And so these levers right here then represent you finishing the battle. So that's how that works. So, yeah, happy to explain what's going on here, but this is all using door mechanics. So these plates right here actually rotate on a pivot, and so that's what's causing it to turn. And the asset spawner is the big red thing. So it's just spawning shrubs that move as a platform. So they have a platform behavior. Ellis, how you doing? Welcome in. We're learning Game Maker stuff today. So if you have any questions for me, do let me know.
Good question.
Good question. This map, I will ensure you can all play today, if you wanted to. I'll publish it to the drafts gallery. Spill some beans. 3 seasons, you guess? What do you mean? Ellis, did you get to play the Sandbox Alpha? Oh, Zumzy, you shared something with me. That's right, I opened up Discord. Oh, look at that! You want me to share that? I love it, Zumzy. So Zumzy shared this with me in Discord. We've got myself, Rock 808. I love Rock's outfit. And the mustache. Oh, that's fantastic. And then King Crypto. I love King's avatar too. But we're dancing at the party scene. At the bar. You did a great job with this. Their faces actually look so lifelike. It's so interesting. Because that was the style choice you did. And I like the subtlety of this rainbow LED light strip. You did a very good job with that. And the water, like I can see the tap water, or tap beer I should say. And the dance floor looks nice too. This is fantastic. Great job, Zumzy. Oh, I love it. I could loop this all day. But I won't, because we have work to do. Ryan, how's your day going? Are you the bartender? Yeah, Zumzy, is that you? If not, you could make it you. Do you have a custom avatar for yourself? By the way, that is a good exercise for all of you, is to make kind of a version of yourself in the sandbox. I would say that's one of the first things I did. So I think with this right here, I kind of want to make an invisible maze. That sounds fun. So using this white carpet, I'm going to make invisible walls that the player has to navigate, kind of like a mirrored maze. So the starting point would be right here. I'll place this over here, next to Halfd0rk. So these signs, I'll go ahead and demonstrate real quick. But when you talk to them, they have this white dot in front of them. And after you talk to them for the first time, it removes the white dot. So if we take a look at this sign here, it has a replace asset. And this, what I have selected right now is this white dot called an after image. That's kind of what I nicknamed it. Ooh, Sparky. Monochrome me, let's go. You're more bald. Me too, Zumzy. The hair isn't as extravagant as it once was. But yeah, so when we talk to this sign, so this sign in particular is number 2. So I counted backwards. It was 1, 2, 3. So this sign, when we talk to it, it's receiving a message. So the sign in question, when we talk to it, it has an asker behavior that tells us this is what happens here. When we interact with it, 2 things are happening. Actually, 3 things. So the first thing that's happening is it's starting the asker behavior. The second thing that's happening is when we're interacting with it, it's sending out a message, sign.2. And then lastly, this after image is receiving sign.2, that message, and it's replacing itself with nothing. So just to demonstrate real quick. When you walk up to it, you talk to it. You can see that white dot. I talk to it, the white dot goes away. So it's just a way for me to show the player, hey, you already talked to this thing. Or, hey, you need to talk to this thing. You haven't talked to this thing yet. So that's how that works. And so that's a mechanic I plan to add more to most of my games. But what we're going to do is we're going to have an invisible maze that when the player reaches certain parts, it's going to make the maze visible. So that's the idea we're going to play with. And so each of these, when we bump into it, or actually when we interact with it, it's going to be sending out a message. Wall. Documentation for those game parameters. Keeper Top Shot, that is a fantastic question.
Good question.
Good question. Let's see if I can find one real quick. I'm imagining it's in the Git book. So here are some tutorials on how to get started. Tutorials, Game Maker Design. So you do have to tab a bit. That'll get you started. There's a Game Maker Academy. I haven't clicked this in a while. And so this is, I think, a good place to start. And so each of these walls, when we bump into it, we can be spamming the interact button. And so when we bump into it, it's going to say wall. But the idea is it's creating this kind of like mirror maze. So let's see how that plays real quick. So right now, they have collisions. But I'm trying to interact with them and they're not saying anything. I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that it's invisible. So like if I were to have these visible, for example, it's waiting for the player to interact with them, for it to say wall. It might also have something to do with the delay. So I think it's actually doing it underground. Oh, it's up above. Okay. And we can't offset anything here. I wonder what happens if we rotate it. So I'm going to try both of these as a different direction to see where the message ends up. Because we saw it was a little bit too high for us. So it's still too high. And yeah, it's still too high. So what we can do is we can have a sound effect play each time that we bump into these walls. So for this, I'm going to open up my sound. I'm going to go ahead and remove the music. Yeah, there's no music playing. Should be able to softly hear my footsteps. So now what we'll do is we're going to have each of these walls, when we interact with it, say a message. that message is going to play a sound effect. We'll have it on a delay of 2 seconds, but I'm going to place a radio now. So this is how I approach sound effects. In both of my games, I made sure that audio is a very important part, because if you're unaware, video games in general, audio and audio design is like half of the game itself. Like, for example, it would feel so unnatural if we didn't have footsteps. Like, you can hear them. And when you jump and you hit the ground, you can hear that. There are some sound effects that are missing. Like if I were to jump in the water, there's no splash. And you can still hear normal footsteps. There's also no grunting. Like the players don't talk. And so I'm looking forward to that when we have like voice lines and stuff. What else? Yeah, right now I haven't attached sound effects to any of these things, but for this example, we can look at sound effects. So let's take a look at our sign here, and we can say this sign, which has an ask your behavior. This will be sign.4, I believe. So I was doing odd, even numbers on this side. Sign.4 will say Sparky's nickel brain's not being helpful. The genre? I mean, it's like Wasteland, like post-apocalyptic, Sparky. I believe that's what you're supposed to do. Is make a, using their hue, which is all black and white, with some red for blood, and then some skin colors for like half hue. So the sign's gonna say, this invisible maze has multiple walls. If you bump into a wall by pressing the interact key of E, it will cause a sound effect. And so, the sound effect's going to be attached to this radio. So we'll do radio, invisible wall. And we can go now to the play sound component. We can pick a sound here. Let's do error. Oops. I believe there's an error message. UI error. That's on receive message. Message required. We'll do wall interact. And we want to turn off 3D sound, because that means the 3D sound would have only played in the yellow. Instead, we can be somewhere else inside of this maze. And it's going to play it. So wall.interact. So if we set that up, we can now place these walls. And if we bump into them, maybe I should pick a different sound here. And then I also need to check my settings. Dun, dun, dun. What is this? Good shit nephew? I've never heard of that. What? So it's Walda Interact. There's some new sounds in the game. Yo, Ross Guru, what up? So it's waiting for that message. Interesting. I'm going to have a different object here just for testing as well, in case the walls, for whatever reason, aren't working. They should. This one, we can actually attach it to a button.
Good shit, nephew. Good shit, nephew. Good shit, nephew. Good shit, nephew.
Alright, well, we know it works. I can't believe that's a sound effect we can use. I didn't even look at these until today. We've got more music to choose from. So that's nice. So we've got K-pop. We've got Imagination Rock. So I'm just pointing out the new ones I haven't seen. We Are in the Zone Discord. Unite Reggae. This is old. The Story You Write. Yo, we might have that fake Eminem song. Yeah, that's Snoop. Mine? Yeah, that's all of these are Snoop Dogg effects. So you know what that means? This is gonna be our Snoop maze. This invisible Snoop maze. And now that means I'm gonna have multiple radios here. So this will be radio Snoop 1. And we're gonna duplicate it. And so now I'm gonna make custom messages for each of the Snoop sound effects. Pass me the lighter, cuz. And that also means that our wall interacts, we're gonna label differently. So it'll be wall.interact 1 or 2. This one will be 2. This one will be 1. Wall.interact 1. So each one will respond differently, each wall. And we'll probably duplicate a couple of these. Too funny. See you, Sparky. Interact 2. And so we'll probably have as many Snoop sound effects as there is. So we can take a look at this. What else? You dig? This will be number 3. Wall.interact 3. And so what I like to do with music specifically is I'll move my spawner point over here. But we're gonna have a new radio for music. And you can use either one. I guess I should just consistently use the same one. That when the player is detected. So I'm using number pad. It's going to start a song. So we can try out all the other songs too. So detect player. It's going to detect the avatar as soon as we spawn in. And when it does, it's going to do music start. And that's going to be received by this box. That's going to start one of these new songs. We're going to try out all the new songs. I really want to find the the Eminem song. No, not mine.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz.
That's actually pretty groovin'. I don't mind that. But we can at least test out the other songs too. The Story You Write was the name of that one. So there's 2 different funk songs down here. And then we have dubstep. And blockchain rap. Cool. So You Dig is on wall.interact 3. Yep, we gotta change that. So this is the Blondish song. Oh no, it's not. This is the Eminem song.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz. You dig? Pass me that lighter, cuz. Good shit, nephew.
I feel like I'm using a soundboard now. Oh, it's too funny. Alright, let's see if Snoop Dogg has any other lines that we can add to this maze. Ooh, that might be a good thing to add to this. This will be our our sound booth. So theme, scientists. Oh, where's all the tech? I can add some of the assets I've bought into. Metal League, what's up? How are you? Whoa. We're playing with sound effects right now. The meta computer. There's only one thing called meta, okay. But basically, I'm gonna have this be like a soundboard so the player can choose their own music. So that's gonna be the last thing we probably work on today. We've got another hour in the stream though, so welcome in everyone. I'm doing well, Metal League. Thanks for asking. Metal League, if you didn't know, there are new sound effects in the Game Maker. I hadn't even looked until today. So you can pick those songs.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz.
And then you can use the Snoop Dogg sound effects.
You dig? You dig? You dig? Pass me that lighter, cuz. Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz. You dig?
Oh, I love it. But I'm going to make an invisible maze here. That when we open the door at the end, it's going to play a sound effect. So it'll be door.win. So I'm going to set up my maze, and then I'm going to set up the jukeboxes, and then we'll jump back into it. Custom tracks? Not yet, Metal League. That's what I would hope they're adding soon. But they've only been hinting at it for quite some time. You dig? So this will be a congratulations that's received when we open the door at the end. Door.win. But I wanted to see if there were other Snoop Dogg sound effects. I don't think there is. Thank you. I wonder what thank you sounds like.
Thank you, dig.
Okay, so that's Snoop Dogg. Alright, so now we're just going to make this maze just for fun. The last thing I'll do, though, is I'm going to add an indicator component to all of them. So I can select them like this. Just be careful whenever you're drag selecting that you might be grabbing things that are underground. And so, just as an example, let's say I had like a number pad here. And I wanted to edit multiple assets at the same time. There's a chance that I'm going to be grabbing that number pad. And so we can see that I now have it selected just by drag dropping, selecting like that. So what we'll do is we're going to add an indicator here. And the indicator won't say anything. Instead, it's just going to have an interaction that says wall. And then we're also going to remove any displays. We'll have the interact VFX. That sounds fun. So now, when the player bumps into these walls, they're going to say a Snoop Dogg sound effect.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz. Thank you. You did? Pass me that lighter, cuz. Good shit, nephew. Thank you. You did?
Yeah, so that's how that works. So now, before we... I guess we can just make a maze real quick, just for fun. And again, I want this to be published by the end of the session. So let me, remind me at the end, guys. And I will publish it in case anybody wants to explore it. Hey, Halfd0rk, what's happening? Welcome in. How about coin sounds? All those sound effects? We do have options for those. Yes, Metal League. However, you do need to add those manually. And so that's something I think a lot of game developers neglect, is sound effects. And so this is kind of like a demonstration of sorts. And then I think at the end here, I would like for all of the walls to be visible. No, it's fine. Nah, I won't worry about that. But that might be a fun way to do a maze, is like when you get to the end, instantly all the walls are visible. And welcome in, Halfd0rk. Today, we're exploring an invisible maze that says Snoop Dogg sound effects.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz. Thank you. You did? Pass me that lighter, cuz.
So you can grab them.
Good shit, nephew. Pass me that lighter, cuz. Good shit, nephew. Thank you. You did? Pass me that lighter, cuz. Good shit, nephew.
I think this is hilarious, to be honest. But okay. So yeah, that's what we were making. Good May, what up, Bengali? How you doing, dude? Woo! Bengali, woo! So yeah, we're playing with sound effects and music in these selections here. Woo! I need a jukebox asset. A jukebox asset. Yo, yo, yo. What up, Saged? How it do? So we got our Sage bag. Let's put that on. So Sage made this the other day. Halfd0rk backpacks. What up? What up? How's it going? So if you check out this backpack here, that was made by our friend Sage here in chat. But I've already gotten tired of that song. So we're gonna remove it. Instead, I'm gonna set up some radios here. And I'm gonna use this one. Placing them on the wall. And they're all gonna have an indicator on them. Woohoo!
Let's get excited.
Let's get excited. Please. How gems affect sounds? That's a great question, Metal League. I haven't really explored it. But what we can do is we can take a look at... Good question. We can take a look at some assets. So this one has luck. So let's see if luck affects it. we can go into the play sound. We can see that there's a sound range of 4. But look here. It has a purple icon, which is for magic. So that might mean if we have an asset with high magic, let's find one real quick. So like this Satoshi block, if we add the play sound on it, it has a much larger sound range. So that basically means that any sound effect that plays will be heard in this entire radius, but it's also going to be a 3D sound. So that means it's going to originate from this object. So what we can do is have 2 different objects play. That when we, let's say, walk into one of them, the other will play a sound. Let's try that. So just for testing, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Control A works? That's not good. I didn't think Control A would select everything. That could cause us problems. So when the player is detected, it's going to send out a block 1. And that's going to start the sound for the other one. So this play sound will do a... what sound effect? We'll do a battle win, just because it's a louder sound. And so this one will be block.2 is going to activate it. So I'm basically reversing it on the other one, which just to save, you know, like a couple seconds, I'll just duplicate it and then swap them. So this one will do block 1 to activate the sound. And then if we ever approach it, it's sending out block 2, which will activate the adjacent one. So let's see if that works. So I'm going to approach this block. It's going to play from the other block. And I'll turn it up a little bit. So we can hear that there's a bit of a, like a stereoscopic thing going on. And we do have to approach it from a unique side, which is unfortunate because let's just use this one block, for example. It's going to be in our left ear. And so it's depending on what side we're approaching. However, if we were to approach from this side, it's going to be reversed. So it's actually playing still in the left ear as though we were approaching from this side. That's interesting. They're secretly opening up alpha experiences. That's awesome, Physiology. And Bongali's mentioning Sandbox Twitter. And yeah, the magic sound affects the range. Good example, though. So we're going to place these over here. We can use it another time. For now, I'm going to have each of my radios here on the wall play a different song. But there's going to be a little bit of a setup here, because when we play a song, we want any other songs to stop. So we're going to set that up, and we're going to finish our maze. The Snoop maze. So there's going to be an indicator that says song name. We'll have a visibility distance of 5. And we can also attach the sound to it. The sound's going to be different for each of these. But for example, we can do the music blockchain wrap for this one. Removing the 3D sound, we can attach a loop to it, but we want it to be interruptible. So that'll allow us to stop and start it. So what we can do is then have the stop message also be a part of each of these radios. So there's going to be a message required that will be music dot blockchain dot, we'll just do blockchain, that's fine. So that's going to start a series of events. I didn't get him, Zumsy. So how many things are available in the alpha map? So it looks like you can play Climbing Madness, you can play the Race Maze, and you can hop back into the lobby. So if anybody's looking for things to do, you can play those games again. So a couple things here. I'm going to attach a message that will set off a chain of events. The first thing that's going to happen is when we talk to this new object, which I'm going to use a number pad for. When we talk to this number pad, which will be invisible, no collisions. It's going to send out a stop message. And it's going to start the music. So that allows us to pick and choose between all the various songs, because I'm going to have more than one radio along this wall. So this will be music dot blockchain sequence. Yeah, I'll keep that. Why not? It's very descriptive. But on the opposite side of this wall, there's going to be two number pads. Each one's going to do one of two things. One is going to stop any music that's already playing. The other one's going to start this new music. And it's going to be on a very short timer. And so for that, we're going to add some health components. So the health components are our timers. So instant death message will be the blockchain sequence. And this one will also have the instant death message of the blockchain sequence, but it'll have a slight delay. This one, instead, when it dies, is going to start the music. And it needs to be sent to the tags radio. This one, on the other hand, is going to stop all music. It's also sending it out to any radios. And it's just sending out stop to any radios within range. So the last thing, we do need to make sure this has radio on it as a tag. And the sound itself is waiting for receive message, music.blockchain. So I think everything's set up, but we'll test it. So right now, we load in no music's playing. If we approach this, it's going to start our music. The last thing we do need to make sure is these number pads reset when they're destroyed. And this number pad needs to be a little bit easier to hit. Great. So it's stopping and starting it. So what I'm going to do is actually make these visible in a way. I'm going to put them inside glass boxes. There should be transparent blocks. So it'll act as like a glass container here. Just for kind of presentation purposes. Great, so that's all set up. Now we can duplicate it and make variants to where each one of these radios is playing a different song. So the player can pick and choose what song they want to use. WTF Dark Lord, what up, my dude? Monijua, do we need land for making a game? No, you do not, Monijua. You only need the Game Maker software, which you can find on the main website. So if we go to sandbox.game, you can go to the Create tab, Monijua, and if anybody else wants to, start building, go to Create tab, and then on the first page of the Create tab is the Game Maker. Craft your game, coding not required. So you've noticed that all of the logic I use does not use numbers, ones and zeros. It's all based on the messages that each asset can send to one another. But yeah, you can download it here. I think you can now download for Mac. So if you have a Mac, you are now able to start making games. So get to it, my friends. So can we make without land, but other people can play it. So this map here, I'm gonna go ahead and publish it. Just as an example. And then we can update it later. I do have to remove these 3 characters for now. And then lastly, I'll at least make this Lambo easy to enter. So that way the player can, use it. What else? I wanted to put Speed as the playable character. And I wanted to remove the jump. Okay, there we go. Sadly, you can't really use these platforms without jump. But I can maybe make like a perimeter here. So we had set these up. But yeah, with all that set up, I'll publish this, and that way we can see that you as a player can jump into it. So we'll call this the Halfd0rk testing site #1. #1. So Monijua, for at this time, you do not need land because land is not accessible. You can buy land, but right now you can't publish to it. That's coming soon, hopefully before the end of the year. You can publish to what's called the Drafts Gallery, which is user-submitted content. In this game, you can test some new mechanics. Halfd0rk testing site 1. Error. Content of this experience can't be shared. Check for unshareable assets. So by saving it, it should tell me what assets don't work. Missing the F in Halfd0rk? What's up, V-Box? Is there an F in my name? Halfd0rk. I'm a dork. Is there an F in my name? I couldn't even spell my own name when you said that. It said everything was good though. Halfd0rk testing site number 1. In this game, you can test some new mechanics. Share. Uploading. Problem. Error. Content of the experience can't be shared. Check for unshareables. My first thought are these boxes, which I downloaded recently. Second thought, it's maybe Sage's bags. Third thought is I'm using, paid assets. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to share those. The game title. Ah, thanks, V-Box. Yeah, you guys can test your Halfd0rks. 97. There's no search in Game Maker. Monijwa, I'm glad you asked. Game Dizzy had made this for us.
No way, bro. No way, bro. It happened, bro.
So you can hop onto this website here. And that'll allow you to search based on names as well as authors. So my games, for example, Fungus Among Us. You could type in Fungus, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. Page 158. But yeah, I'm not sure why I'm unable to share this, because I'm not getting any errors. I do have some recently published assets, such as, my Halfd0rk avatar. And it says save status is okay. Try me. So I get the impression, everyone, that even though we have the option to publish assets, they aren't exactly approved yet. We're not getting errors. So let's use a different example. I made this for fun. And it's very bland. It's got like nothing on it. But this is going to be my social hub. I'm going to call it the halfway house. I know, cringy, right? So I'm going to test with my Halfd0rk NPC here. Halfd0rk says, this social hub is a work in progress. Oh. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to try and publish it. The halfway house. V0. Social hub coming soon. And then just for fun, you can actually add tags here. And the tags will work. Pretty sure I could add it to this title too. So I'm sharing it. It appears to have worked with my recently published asset. And so now we can go back to the main menu. We'll save it. The halfway house. I think it's clever ideology. Oh, Monijua, your questions are what I look for on my stream. I want there to be, you know, the real-time problem solving going on. So I'm happy to answer your questions. Good question. Oh, look. We can now find the halfway house here. And so because it's using user-generated content, it's going to be in the drafts gallery. And we can enter into it. I should probably... It's going to get a lot of low stars, which will suck. Whatever. I'll probably delete it. But this is me hopping around the halfway house. So that brings me to my next point. Like, why was I unable to publish my testing site? So I'm still unsure why I couldn't publish this. I'll try again. So it says content can't be shared. Check for unshareable assets. So now I'm going to look inside my hierarchy here. I don't want to delete all the stuff I've worked on. What was that? Oh. Is it because I'm using a custom avatar? Well, I can't turn off jump if I'm doing that. But I think that was why. Well, at least I think I figured it out. But we're going to remove these. Halfd0rk, I don't think the custom asset was published, is why. So I used that asset called speed, and I don't think I published that asset specifically. And yeah, asset spawner that doesn't spawn anything, I don't think so. All my asset spawners do spawn something, but that's an interesting bug to note, Halfd0rk. It should have Halfd0rk, however, it's because I had it as my custom avatar. So for example, let's see. I'm going to throw speed in randomly, and now I'm going to try and save it. So now it's giving the error appropriately. So that's me troubleshooting, and I believe that's why it wasn't publishing. So now that we've done that, we can hop back in. And we can see I can jump around, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go ahead and publish it just for funsies. So we have save status okay now. So we'll do Halfd0rk testing site number 1. This will be version 1. And I'll go ahead and color these. I kind of like the idea of coloring it. I'll only color my name, just because I'm extra. So if you notice, it removes the color brackets and syntax after I type it in. But if I type it in correctly, it works. So that's a plus. Check out some new mechanics in my testing site. And this will be version 1.1. V1. I'm going to save this for later. So now when we publish it, uploading. Still giving me the error though. RIP. Migzoo! What's happening? Welcome in. Copy please. So it's saying it can't be shared, and that's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Because I don't know exactly what is causing that error, because the errors are not popping up on my screen here. So it says save status okay. You know, it's essentially saying you're good to go. Oh, Game Maker just crashed for me. Thanks, Game Maker. Thanks, Obama. So while that's booting up, well, Manijua, this is alpha. You know, everything's relatively new. Yo, Sparky, you have your Rhythms headphones. Fantastic. You have them in game? That's nice.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yo, love it, Sparky. Let's see it. Oh, Little Legion sharing something. What up, Little Low? Little Low? Little Org? How you doing? Bit laggy, but still fun. Yo. Take a pic of the finish line, reply to this tweet, fill out the form. 200 sand, wow, for 50 winners. Good stuff. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Avatar's slower. So all you gotta do is take a pic of the finish line and fill out the form. Get to it. Well, I'm gonna try and save and export one more time. Save status okay. Okay. Still giving me errors. The only thing I could imagine as being a problem would be an asset spawner, perhaps. I think that's a suggestion. I did kind of toy with some asset spawners before. Well, I want to share this with you guys, but if I can't, I can't. Well, everyone, we've got about 10 minutes left in the stream. I figure I should do at least one giveaway before we go. Dorkbot, should we do a giveaway? Alright, Dorkbot, sure. Keyword's gonna be giveaway. So go ahead and enter in, I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, woohoo! Let's get excited.
Alright, good luck, friends. Little Legion! You've done it again. Congratulations. Little Legion, I owe you a coin. And I believe I have your address, so no worries there. I'll send it as soon as I can. Congratulations. Must have been a bug or something. Oh, SSK Wolf, what's happening? Welcome in. Can you delete published assets? No, Little Legion, unfortunately not. I have been wanting to delete them, and as soon as you click that button, it like locks them in. You can do the save as draft at least. And yeah, Vvox is asking the same question. Nope, cannot.
Good question.
So, why that? Okay, so let's take a look. So if we go into our inventory, we can see my unpublished assets as well as my published ones. So this asset in particular, I wanted to delete. My logic box. This was essentially going to be my replacement for the number pad. So as soon as I saw the button, I was like, yo, I'm gonna publish it just to test. But then I had all these animations that had Z fighting on the bottom. And so that's why I wanted to delete it. However, now if I go into delete asset. Nani? That wasn't there before. What? I honestly never had this button here. I only had the edit info. I put up a ticket, Panda replied, and suddenly I have the delete option. Little Legion, that's fire. So, yeah. Generally speaking, when you published, it was locked. And it looks like that was fixed very recently. It is in game right now, so that does mean that I'll need to take the time to swap out all of those. And I have a good number of them. So I'll probably do that off stream. For the remainder of the stream, I wish I could find what was breaking. And I can't really make a duplicate of this map. Another thing I wish we could do is like have literal saved backups in our game maker. Like there was a button. And this is something I wrote down. So kind of similar to this publish button. I wish we had like a backup button. But yeah, very frustrating that I can't find out what's breaking right now. But it is what it is, I guess. Woo! back it up. Yes, we should save. We'll definitely save. But now, because we were able to publish the Halfd0rk halfway house, I'm going to basically re-import all of my assets and see if I can find which one is breaking things. So we'll exit. I'll go to the halfway house. And so I'm going to add a couple things at a time. So I know my doors work. I don't have to test the doors. But I'm going to do an after image. I'm going to do the logic box. And what else? I think one of those two things might be the culprit. So we'll publish. Wait, this is going to be the halfway house. Didn't I make it green? Color equals, or no, this will be slash color because it's at the end. And at the front, you want color equals green. I think this is one. Ooh, check it out, y'all. Check it out, y'all. We found the bug. We found the error. Hey, yo, what up? So it means that it's probably going to be the logic box. So now we can publish it again. V1.2. Okay, it might be the after image too. Wait, if it's the after image, is it not the logic box? Let me just try and publish it. Okay. So it's likely the after image and or the logic box. So here's the logic box. Okay, so it's the after image. So let's take a look at it. Why would this be breaking? What is wrong with you? You're so beautiful. Oh my god. Tipsy, not now! We're having a midlife crisis. Halfd0rk, if you're there, you were right. It was a replace asset behavior. So that's likely what was doing it. So now if we export it, the Halfd0rk house, version 1.2, halfway house. Oh my goodness! Oh my gracious. That is a big bug. Big bug. So everyone, we've learned something new today. What? Not now, Tipsy. Actually, no. This is cause for celebration. Yeah, Galador. I just assumed none of my assets had that, but that's unfortunate. Simply because that's the default behavior for when I publish this asset. So before we go today, I'm gonna see if I can overwrite this asset. Even though it's published. I don't think we can overwrite a published asset. So we'll see. So we're going to hop into VoxEdit right quick. We're going to find the after image right here. And I had added a 6-second loop to it. So it just spins kind of idly. But at least we can open up Game Maker in the background and find the after image that has the fake replace. And so we're going to file, export to marketplace. Default animation will be spin. A silent updated. That's fantastic. Oh yes, I know what you're saying then. So in that case, we're not going to re-upload it. Instead, we'll just go to my inventory. And I'll go to the after image. We'll edit the info. And yes, I can just change this. Yeah, I hope this is okay. I don't think this will be a problem. For now, I'll just have it as none. I don't think I need it. Nani? Omaewa? Scientist, machine, magic, sci-fi. I like having it as a common with magic. And then publish. So I was able to republish it. It looks like it overwrote itself. So that's a plus. For my character speed here. I'll go ahead and publish him as well so we can use him. There's no one faster than speed. Isn't he adorable? Publish.
I'm here to party.
Yo, Migsu, what's up? Thanks for the follow. So now we'll enter back into the testing site and I'll finally be able to publish it so you all can play it. Little Legion, if you're updating asset animations, you know, colors, whatever, those you'll have to do in VoxEdit. But it looks like the behaviors, I was able to just edit the info. So let's take a look at the after image that we just now republished. And it does still have the replace asset behavior on it. So that's no bueno. So it doesn't look like it updated. It does look to still have the replace asset on it. However, if I go into the edit info, it says the correct here. But on the published page, it still says replace asset. Refresh, says Galador. Okay, it seems like that fixed it. However, in game, it might need another moment or two. It's likely not going to be updated here, at least for some time. But what we can do is try and find the culprit, the one that's breaking. So this one, yep, we have none. So I've been using none. That's weird to say. But I was using replace asset with none for a lot of things. Okay, Galdor, we'll try it. So do you think this is actually what's breaking it? Is this replace asset? That has none on it? Because I was using that specifically to remove the afterimage when you talk to something. So for example, this sign here. It's replacing itself with nothing. So, it's good that we've found the culprit at least. And Game Maker is crashing. Game Maker is crashing. Goodbye, Game Maker. Farewell. Thank you for trying. Well, everyone, this is about the time I end my streams. But thank you very much, those of you in chat that were helping me debug these things. I'm gonna refresh. Nobody is currently streaming. But thank you so much for joining me on my 2-hour adventure in the Game Maker. My name's Halfd0rk. So, I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Have a good May. Thank you. Shout out Galador and Little Legion for helping me debug that. And shout out to all my VIPs in chat. You know who you are. But in case you don't remember. Shout out to Go West, Little Legion Org, Nick Skull, Nervex, Sparky Snickle, and V Vox. Hope you all have a great day. Catch you later. Oh yeah, play that race maze, everybody. Make sure you get that free sand, or at least have the chance for it. Shameful Deeds, have a fantastic day. Thanks for popping in.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! Alright, have a good day, everybody. Oh, Sparky shared a stat. Nice, Sparky. Alright, bye, everybody. See yas.